Hello, and welcome to an introduction little walkthrough on Microsoft Word and formatting and putting together a Works Cited page. This should be a relatively short video that goes through and shows you all the tricks of the trade in terms of formatting, spacing for an MLA formatted Works Cited page for your composition classes or any other classes that might use MLA format. The first thing we do, this is the pretty standard Microsoft Word screen. We're going to set the spacing. Most of the time, I've seen a lot of people do this. I tend to use shortcuts when I can, but there are some elements in here that will require us using this drop-down menu. You can also mention the spacing in there. The first thing I like to do is get rid of the spacing between the paragraphs. A lot of instructors will sort of note that as an issue in formatting because MLA formatting is supposed to be straight double space. The space between the paragraphs shouldn't exist. So get those all down to 0. We will talk about the special hanging indent in a moment, but we do need to make sure we've center aligned and typed Works Cited. And for those people who have had issues, and I used to be one of them, so I understand, the header, you double click on the header at the top of the page, and you will get the header and footer view. In order to put your name and page number, which is a formatting issue that often gets left off, and I think it's because there's some extra steps that people aren't familiar with, just go over to the page number, click the little drop-down menu. You want it on the top of the page. Obviously, that's why you click the header. It's going to take a second to load up on mine. And then you want the plain number 3. Now, I'm using Times New Roman. This font may be different if you switch to Times New Roman. I believe the default is Calibri 11. You can change that in the same place that you would normally change your font in the body down here. So just type your last name, space it, and if you'd like to test it, double click on the body, which is what I was doing there. Hit Control Enter, and it will create a page break, and it should change the page number automatically. So that's a good test. You don't necessarily need to have that second page there, obviously, but if you want to check it out, that's a good way to do it. When you get after you type in Works Cited, click the left line button. I'm going to go to the databases in a moment and grab a source and click the citation from JSTOR and paste it in, and we'll reformat that way. But let's figure out if we do that. Switching over. There we go. Should be seeing. These articles obviously are in JSTOR. You can download the PDF, but and when they first came out, they weren't as accurate. If you hit the Cite button, you'll get a relatively straightforward MLA citation. Make sure you hit the Copy button. It'll give you that very positive reinforcement on copied, which is great. That means you know you've got it on your clipboard. You don't have to do the Control-C and Control-X. And then you get down here. It is important. I like doing it in Microsoft Word especially. You get the paste options. This one just has the standard text. Sometimes there will be a merge formatting because the original formatting won't match what you're doing. JSTOR, by keeping it that text only, means it'll format it. This is not exactly what we need, and it does remove some of the formatting we need within the citation itself. The larger titles, the name of the journal, for instance, should be italicized. And so you go up here, you click italicized. Also, the name of the database should be italicized. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. This one, in terms of information, where it is and how it is formatted, in terms of font, is all set to go. We do need to do the hanging indent. I tend to highlight that, highlight the citation, and then I'll go up and click that paragraph, and this is where that special indentation comes in. First line, and then hanging. The default is 1/2 inch. Now, if you're on a computer or have somebody has set something weird, I've seen it up to 8 inches. I've seen people readjust this. It's a good idea to check. That's why I tend to go through this paragraph, through the paragraph menu, so I can see that. And there it is, a complete Works Cited page. If you would like to use a shortcut, I just hit the undo button, Control-Z. If you hit Control-T, it will also give you that hanging indent. It's a keyboard shortcut. Again, you can do that from up here as well, in that paragraph drop-down menu. But that is the basics. When you go into write on this, if you want, and I recommend this highly, I tend to use that Control-Enter page break. Now my Works Cited page is always my last Ha ha ha. Always my last page. So I go up here and I can just start typing. And again, it's just a quick walkthrough. I use the databases. That works. The formatting applies to any citation, whether it's from a web document or a book. Hope you found this helpful.